Today, we are talking family engagement. I am here with two fantastic ladies from Pioneer Elementary School, and they're going to be sharing some great things that they've done to continue to engage their families in the virtual setting. So first, I'm going to turn it over for them to do some quick introductions.
Hello, good morning, or afternoon if it's lunch and learn, right? I am Lori Mooney, the proud principal here at Pioneer Elementary School.
And I'm Patricia Littlefield, the Title I reading teacher here at Pioneer.
All right. Well, just so everyone knows who's watching, these two ladies were kind enough to join me very early the morning of our recording. So I appreciate their time very much. So let's jump in. The first question I have is if you could please describe your program and what you all have been doing around family engagement.
Okay, I'm just going to start with just a little bit of a preface with this. Trish is new to Pioneer. And when we're thinking about family engagement, we wanted to put a little different spin on it. We think of family engagement as activities and events, but we also want to look at it because she and I are doing a course through William and Mary with the Engage Every Family, that family engagement is also the day-to-day engagements that families and kids have with their teachers. So we're trying to put a little bit of a different spin on it and really helping teachers and staff members to recognize that it's not just events, it is also what we're doing day to day. So we're thrilled to have Trish come on with us this year and to plan our events as well. And that's really what we are going to focus on today. So Trish, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, first I'd like to say that is one of the advantages of being virtual. You know, everyone has something negative to say about virtual. My positive for virtual is the fact that every single day that these teachers are logging on, that these parents are logging on, and these students, that is family engagement. We're all engaged. We're all taking ownership for the students' learning. We're in that boat together. Family engagement has always been linked to Title I. So it has always been funded by Title I as far as our materials and such. But I have to say, like Ms. Mooney said, family engagement is a school-wide, community-wide activities, yes, both in school and out of school.
So this year we planned 10 official family engagement activities that we embarked upon this year, some with the school division and some as a school that we came up with. Yeah. So talk a little bit, Trish, about what we've done so far with our activities that the WHRO and the other ones.
Yes. Well, the first thing that we opened with, which was very nice, was the swag bags. That was one of our family engagement. We listed that as a family engagement where all the parents came out to Pioneer and picked up their materials to start them off with their virtual learning. We did the iReady, which was district-wide. And then another one that we did was the WHRO, which is is PBS, which is Suffolk Public Schools, Martha Razor, a huge hit. What we did is we incorporated her activities and her events with Suffolk Public Schools. It was a pre-recorded event, which we may get to that later. When you're doing your events, it's very good to have some pre-recorded activities so that the parents can do them at their leisure, but also some live events. We had, I would say, about at least 100 participants for that. Very successful. Martha Razor is a wonderful community, family-orientated community leader that we tapped into. The second one that we did that was a huge success was the Pajama Jam. And this rolls into another question as well. That was so beautiful because all the teachers here at Pioneer were on board. They had their own little community, their own little families, and everybody had such a warm, inviting activity. We had the teachers coming, we had the assistants coming, we had the administrators coming, we had mom, dad, we had siblings, and it was just such a nurturing event that, you know, the kids were learning, but the kids were also having a time to just to to engage with their teachers when it wasn't so structured.
I saw a variety of activities from some of them when I sat on, they were doing scavenger hunts.
Yes.
The teachers were reading. And what was really exciting about this event was teachers took their own spin
Yes.
on it. Some of them had the students volunteer to read.
Yes.
Some of them, the teachers read. Actually, we had several teachers that their older children read to their kids. So it was a chance for, we go into their homes every day virtually, and it was a chance for actually their class to see their homes as well, and to get to know their family. So it really was exciting, and it was really neat to see how teachers really interpret it a little differently of, of what they were going to do with the kids. Yes, it was focusing on reading, but then they realized, you know what, the kids don't have a whole lot of time to interact where it's not structured. So, so they truly, truly enjoyed it. And we had a huge number of participants that actually signed in. Trish, you want to tell her our magic number that we had with that?
I believe it was 373. I did not grab those materials, but it was huge. And to spin off of Ms. Mooney, I went into one, and actually one of the students was reading. She was reading an epic book. And after the fact, they did the little epic quiz where the student had the other students predicting and raising their hand and engaging. And I think it was just so successful because, like I say, each small community of classrooms was doing it, not on a, I mean, it was still Pioneer, still huge, but it took it, to a smaller level of family. But anyway, the kids were interacting with each other, actually kind of playing school there. And it was just so beautiful to see what the children were learning and how they were actually modeling what the teachers were doing during their lessons. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, I was fortunate. My family was able to participate in the event, and it really was wonderful. I was thinking, just as you said the whole time, how great for these kids to be invited into the homes of their teachers. And, I was meeting pets and siblings. I mean, it was, I think I was in one class and the teacher's mom called on FaceTime. So it was really, really neat. And I just kept thinking about how magical that was, as you said, for the kids to be in their teachers' homes like that. It was really special. So job well done on that.
I will tell you that the idea came from, because Miss Littlefield and I earlier in the year were invited to a second grade teacher's classroom to participate with her. So it started really as an idea from one teacher, and it grew from there, actually. So we said, we've got to do this school wide. So that's how it originated. We'll talk a little bit later about how to make these events more successful, but I'll turn that back over to you, Chelsea.
That's great. You really should be running the show, Miss Mooney. This is great. So my next question is, how does all this great work you've been doing, how do you think it ties in with division goals? And also talk a little bit about the virtual setting. I know Miss Littlefield shared.
Well, I will tell you.
Virtual setting.
Okay. I will tell you that Goal 5 of the division goals is strengthen family engagement and community investment. And I think, again, like Ms. Littlefield said, having everyone involved and having all of that buy-in. And I think the advertising of it, or the letting the community know of what we're doing and what our plans are early enough so that they can make plans to attend is a big factor. And also the community engagement, teachers don't have to do it all. Ms. Littlefield has done a great job of looking at community resources that would like to partner with Suffolk Public Schools to do some different things and get involved virtually. So, that is huge at WHRO. She has a lot of other different organizations that are interested in helping with family engagement. And we've had a lot of community resources and community organizations that have really said, how can we help you? What is something that we can do for you in the virtual setting? How has this been a little bit different as far as virtual? I honestly think we probably had more people virtually than we would have come into the building, because they didn't have to leave their homes. They could have dinner, they had snacks. right there while they were participating. So I know when we come back, even when we come back face to face eventually, we will be doing virtual virtual activities and different things, because I think it's really going to change how we think of the family engagement, and the fact that it engages the entire family, not just those that come to Pioneer, but the little ones, the older ones. And so I think it's beneficial, and we're learning every event what to do differently. You know, how can we get more involved? What are some other things that we can do? So it's really a constant learning experience for us.
Great. So I think it's very clear, but talk to me a little bit about how you think students are benefiting from all of this great work.
Well, I'll start and I'll let you. I think it's the connection. I think right now that they really need the communication, just time to enjoy each other. And I think having a scheduled time for them to be able to interact that's not as structured is beneficial. The social emotional learning piece is huge. And we're really trying to meet those needs of the students. And this is just one way that we can do that.
And I agree with Ms. Mooney. The social emotional is just so important. And I think that with these activities, we need to keep that in mind. The social emotional, I think that it's also important to keep it learning, keep it educational. When we're doing these events, the students are not realizing that this is educational. They're not realizing that they're actually learning from this. And I think that's beautiful, because they're growing as learners and they don't even know it. They're growing in all areas. I also think that these open lines of communication, I know that this is my first year at Pioneer. We are virtual, but I can say that I know tons of parents. I have talked to them on the telephone. I have had Zoom meetings. And I really hope that this type of open communication between the teachers, the students, the parents, that all of this continues when we go back face to face.
It's all with building relationships.
It is building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to build a relationship with someone that comes into your home every day, basically. Yes. Even if it's virtually, you've got that relationship. So it builds on the relationships with families.
And when you do a family engagement event that you just do one time a month and you invite parents, if you've not built a relationship with these parents, then no one's going to come out.
And I think that gets into my last question, which is recommendations for your colleagues. I think just the attendance that you all have at these events is really pretty incredible, but I think it could be intimidating for someone wanting to start out. So what are some additional recommendations you have for how your colleagues could get things like this off the ground?
Well, I know both Trish and I believe that you've got to advertise it. And so what we started to do was advertise on Canvas. So I would do my little videos to talk it up, because then every time that they turn it on, they see the video and they click on it and find out about it. So that's one way, along with School Messenger and any other resources that we have. We put it on, of course, Facebook, our Facebook page, and our school website. But really just talking it up and advertising is huge. And I think our videos and doing it on campus has made the biggest difference. Now, we do have a group that, of course, we do have some internet issues. So again, that's where the other means of communication works through, and teachers will let parents know through their different blooms and different things that they do for reminders. So we just really try to remind them as much as possible. And we do have incentives. Trish has had some people that have donated things.
We have some donations that we have the incentives. Martha Razor, once again, WHRO, one of our community people, has offered prizes. Also, UPS has donated books. That's here in Suffolk. Another one that I wrote down is Food Line. We have a Food Line event, and he always gives prizes. We have that one planned. I believe that's in April. Hopefully, that one will rock, and we can get out there. We figure everyone buys groceries.
Right.
So, he's already agreed that even if we're social distancing, to still do the event. So getting back to the question, I think it's a combination of having some things that are pre-recorded so that the parents can do it at their leisure, or if they do have the internet issues. I also think having some things that are live. Our next event is called Coding Unplugged. That will be live. So I'm anxious to see just what kind of turnout we have with that live event. And I guess another thing that I would say to others is, if it's not working, then don't keep doing it. If we do the unplugged live and it doesn't work, then we're not going to do that type of event again. We'll go back to the drawing table and select something else.
And this next one that's coming up is actually, we're doing it with Kilby Shores. So use your resources, use the schools, work together, work smarter, not harder, as they say. Look out to see what other community resources can we do, or how can we do something differently that might, spark interest. And I also think having a family engagement committee is something that we are growing to and doing more, but we really need. You need more people so that you can bounce ideas off. One thing that we're going to look at is doing even just a little talent show. So, hey, why not a virtual talent show? People would see that. So, just so people can throw ideas out, and you never know what would be exciting and what would be successful. So.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you both sharing your expertise. I think there's a lot of really great suggestions and ideas to help people out. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, and I appreciate your time today. I'm excited to share this with our community.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.